Welcome to the Starting Over Podcast. I'm your host, Edward Sheldon, aka Dark Logos, and this is the show where we look at the strategies, tactics, and mechanics behind the game of heroclix. Oh man, things have been a little bit busy and also slow at the same time. What I am going to do, I know I'm behind on a ton of reviews and stuff, and so yeah, it's just been a bunch of different things. School year is wrapping up, and I'm doing the farmer thing and just trying to get some things taken care of. So that's what's going on. So I am just a little tired more than I thought. So I've done some online tournaments. Haven't done too great. I'll straight admit it. So I think also what comes down to it is you get to that point where you're playing or you're looking at stuff and you're just like, man, this is just super hard to deal with, and you just, I wouldn't say necessarily internally give up, but you get internally exhausted and you lose some motivation. So that's also part of things too. But anyway, we're gonna look and evaluate the Black Widow movie set. I know you probably already have your opinions on it, so I'm probably going to be like the 18th opinion that you've already heard or will hear on the issue. So bear with me. All right, first and foremost, when we look at 01, I'm going to put all the shifting focus into a box. And the main reason that I'm going to look at all the shifting focus in a box is because functionally, when you start looking at their interactions, they're really strong. They're probably the best value that we've gotten from a set like this in years, and I really do mean that. So that puts the whole thing, in my opinion, in a different light, because when I look at what they can do on the competitive scale, I am sort of amazed. So I think WizKids did give us value in this actual shifting focus. So let's look at it. So we have shifting focus Black Widow, 01, 05, and 09. So let's start off with 01. 01 has improved movement, ignores characters, but they also have Avengers Initiative, team ability, so they also ignore hindering. And you have stealth, you have combat reflexes, you have perplex, you shift on to having super senses, which is not bad, but really what you're looking at is the espionage trait. Technology and training, if Black Widow is on a theme team, or your starting force has two other characters from Black Widow movie set symbol, opposing characters can't use improved targeting abilities to target her or adjacent friendly characters. Now, this is the key one that I think most people have been talking about and also possibly been complaining about. So, this element of making improved targeting like a lot harder is quite beneficial, and I think it also goes into a couple of things that I view as a bit of a problem with improved targeting as it is. It's the same problem with Outwit. It's either like, yep, it works, or no, it doesn't. And they've sort of calmed down on how much improved targeting that they've given out, which is good. But at the same time, the fact that some improved targeting is just completely just wreck you. Like, improved targeting ignores elevated should never exist. Like, it just should not exist for the nature of the game. But it does, or I would say outside of Colossals. Giants and Colossals should have one advantage, and that's improved targeting ignores elevation. But that's my thought. But when we look at this character, all of a sudden, you start adding in a Nightbringer ring. You start adding in characters that do free smoke cloud. You start adding in all of these different other characteristics, and it's like, it's not that bad. Okay, so we're going to jump to the next shifting focus, Black Widow. which is number 5. Sidestep, you have the shifting focus trait. You have the espionage misdirection. Leadership, if Black Widow is on a theme team or your starting force is 2 other Black Widows, we'll just skip all that in the future. Opposing characters on the map more than 6 squares away from her can't be placed within 6 squares. Hello, anti-colossal retaliation. Hello, how are you doing? Now, there are a couple of things I think that even I missed out there. Number 1 is that leadership part, is that she does have leadership. So, you know, if you're like, next turn I really want to get a token off of this Avenger, and you are not too concerned about being shot, yeah, you probably want to, you know, shift over to her. Also, you might want to think about, hey, I need to shift over to her because I want to stop being colossal retaliated. You know, Tri-Sentinels are coming. So, or at least in terms of being placed from the colossal retaliation. So there is a point for using her like that to just give you some level of defense and safety for your main attacker. Going through the special power gives her telekinesis, but only to place other friendly characters of equal or lower points. So that is a little bit disheartening, but that's okay. When she uses it, choose Empower or Enhancement. That place character can use the chosen power this turn. So, you know, being able to TK out, let's just say hypothetically, you know, a smaller support character, allowing it to use Enhancement on top of its Perplex and Outwit could be really useful. Or even having Empower for your, you know, melee charging brick to have, you know, carry, you know, some little minion guy. That could be pretty good. So I think what's going to end up happening is very few people are going to utilize her TK. And I think that's going to be a point to surprise people. It's going to be a huge point to surprise people. All right, next up, let's go to number 9. Number 9, your espionage is, let's see, opposing characters is generated placed on the map from a sideline within 6 squares of her. After resolution, both you and your opponent roll a d6. If your result is higher, give that character 2 action tokens. So, you know, someone tries to come in, take that shot on you, and she's like, let's see what happens. And if she shuts it down, there you go. Like, your ID card is screwed. So this one is an anti-ID card, also getting, you know, access to Outwit. So when we shift in between the 3 of them, also forgetting, the free smoke cloud is beautiful. Opposing characters occupying smoke cloud can't use improved abilities or team abilities. Now, I want to state a couple of things. Number 1, I think this one above is like number 2 in terms of effectiveness, because there's a lot of Power Cosmic, Quint, Mystics, other annoying team abilities out there, and you're just like, yeah, you can't use them. I'm sorry. Like, that's it for you. All right, so and then being able to outwit the person on top of that. So there's a lot of utility. Now, I know some people might say Dario Agger, homeboy, he does it cheaper. And Dario Agger does do it cheaper, but Dario Agger can't also shift into someone else. So there are some pros and cons of this. Now, I also will reinforce that she is really super anti-WWE. Super anti-WWE, which is, in all fairness, we need it, because in Popper, WWE is 5 types of BS, and they need some more counters for them. All right. All right, so now that we've talked about them, let's go ahead and do the, normal review. All right, so let's go to number 2, Yelena Belova. Pretty much running shot stealth. If she's on a theme team, blah, 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 blah. Opposing characters within 6 squares on line of fire can't have their combat values positively modified. This isn't bad, but you're primarily utilizing her on spy teams. She's not really going to be on much else. Then we go to, and I just want to point out, like, widows as a keyword only has, like, Yelena Bavova, Widow's Initiate, Widow's Recruit, Yelena Belova, number 10, Widow's Spy, and Widow's Assassin. That's it. That is not that's a sucky theme team to be on. So she's going to be on spy teams. Next up is Widow's Initiate. You're only primarily going to see this with Chase Widow, Chase Black Widow, and that's really it. So it's not really worth talking about. Next up, we have Task Force Henchmen. Again, not that impressive. Leap Climb, at first I was like, oh, it's Leap Climb, and it's 25 points, and yeah. But as a soldier, like, this is just a character that can get into position, and it's really nice just to take a shot. At the beginning of the game, for all characters with this trait, choose an opposing character or a team ability. When targeting that character or opposing characters that can use that team ability, Task Force Henchman modifies attack by +1. So you're 11 attack with potentially 4 damage to shoot a guy within 5. Unless you're able to get their ranges up or you're having a map on, that's a tighter map, I don't really see much advantage in this. You're mainly going to see this on soldier teams, maybe assassin teams, but that's about it. All right, let's go to Widow's Recruit. This one you're going to see a lot with Chase Widow because just poison, shape change, super senses. Her trait really doesn't matter. It's the fact that she's primarily just going to be summoned in with Black Widow, Chase Black Widow. So that's you really do not need to know much more about that character. Taskmaster, mission objective, honing my skills. When another character within line of fire rolls a single d6, you may place a die on this card with that result, replacing any die already here. When Taskmaster would roll a single d6, you may instead remove the d6 from this card and use that result. Now, this is where it becomes really cool because you can replace it for his blades, you can replace it for his super senses, you can replace it for his leadership. If there are any other game effects that cause you to roll a single die, he can use his trait. Now, some of you, that roll will be propped from that character. Now, there's more jank in Golden Age, truthfully. So just be aware of that. Like, if you go down that path, there's a lot of jank in Golden Age that you can do. All right, next up is Red Guardian. Yay. That's it. It's not that great. Defend at an 18, not great. Red Guardian does not count against theme teams and can use willpower if your starting force includes a character named Black Widow. Congratulations. I paid 15 points for defend and vulnerability does not count against theme teams with an enhancement. Doesn't do me much good. All right, let's look at the second Yelena Belova. Your maximum number of theme probabilities you can use this game is 10 instead of 5. That's nice. The old ways. Let's see, stealth, plasticity. When Yelena Belova uses theme probability control, she isn't given an action token. So her two traits work together, which is nice. But she also has defend plus super senses, which makes her a little bit better of a piece slightly, but not really that much better than Red Guardian. So, yeah. I really am not too impressed. I can see some uses, but again, you're only going to see her on Spy. All right, let's look at Widow Spy. Charge, poison, super senses, exploit. You're not going to see this piece. Improve movement characters, improve targeting, hindering. With charge, it's not that useful. Find their weakness and use it. If Widow Spy is on a theme team, blah, 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 she can use Outwit, but only target adjacent characters. That is, again, not good. Hiding in plain sight, stealth. Lines of fire drawn to Widow Spy are blocked if she's adjacent to printed hindering or printed blocking terrain. Again, minorly useful, but again, I don't think you're going to see anyone really utilize this piece. Task Force Mercenary. Running shot, energy explosion, enhancement. 2 targets. A little bit better. I don't see much value in this. If a friendly character has missed with an attack this turn, Task Force Mercenary modifies attack by +1. Okay. Let's see. Widow Assassin. Slightly better, but I'd rather have a Shifting Focus Widow. Psychic Blast plus Range Combat Expert is like, you're not useful. Having Super Sensitive Shape Change Stealth, again, is not bad. Okay? In her trait, you may choose a standard power that a friendly character has printed on their card. Until your next turn, Widow Assassin can use that power. Now, all fairness, there is some usefulness, slightly. One of which is Hulk. Immortal Hulk can give you Outwit early on, Invincible or Impervious, which is super useful for her. She already has Shape Change. Then stack that with later down the dial of her getting Charge. So there are some characters that could be really useful for this figure, but at 75 points, having this weird, hey, I can borrow a power mechanic, while I'm not fully hating on it, I don't think anyone wants to put in the work for it. Considering its keywords is going to give martial arts maybe a little bit of a bang, but not too much. Now, if this figure was 65 points, I would be less hesitant to be like, it's not that good. If it was 50 points, I'd be like, this is a must play. All right. Taskmaster. 75-point Taskmaster. I've heard a lot of good, bad, and indifferent about this piece, so let's go. First off, has improved targeting, ignores characters, which is okay. There's advantages of it. He has the wild card ability. Leadership, but only if Taskmaster is on a theme team. That part I don't like, because I feel like he should just have leadership. Why make it that situational if I'm paying for it? When he uses it and succeeds, he may also remove an action token from a friendly character with the Task Force keyword, including himself. So, yay. Okay, it's a little bit better, but still, again, I'm paying for it. Why restrict me to a theme team to use it? Why not just let me use it? That's something that, like, I know it'll never happen. At least not officially. I would just love to have a conversation with a WizKids game designer and just be like, yo, man, can we have like a candid conversation about character design philosophy? Like, just philosophy. Because I think, like, and I've sort of read it on this before, and I'm not going to get too deep into it, and I should just do a whole episode recapping it. But I spend my money on something that I do for fun, and it needs to have some level of value. And I also want to be competitive. If you're not designing the figures to have some actual use, some actual competitive use, then you're wasting resources. You're wasting time. You're wasting physical resources that can be used for other things that are beneficial to human existence, or just the existence of our planet in general. And you're wasting box space. You're wasting retailer time and space. You're just wasting space. And you're so the idea in my mind of, look, these things have to suck so that you value these other things. I think that's a dumb argument. I think everything can have a purpose and a place, and having variable purposes and variable utilities is fine, as long as you envision it for something. But when you carelessly create, you end up with not necessarily abominations, because those are unnatural things, but you end up with. I wish I had a synonym for it that would work with abomination, but anyway. Anathema. Anathema. There we go. Another A word. All right, so again, Taskmaster, his trait is crap. The Panthers move and his claws. Blaze Claws, Fangs, Flurry, free. Make a close attack, but only to target an opposing character that missed Taskmaster since your last turn. I don't. No. Please no. That's too limiting. That's too limiting. I think you need more than that. Now, I know some of you are going to say, Dark Logos, you're getting Blades, Claws, Fangs, and Flurry, and then this other thing is just free. How could you be mad? Look at how it's designed. Why don't I have a movement power that gives me, it's one click, it gives me stealth and charge. That's it. Okay? Get rid of the last click of Blades, get rid of the last click of Sidestep, compensate me on that first click. Okay, now we have something. I mean, because again, you're going to have to be fighting these Black Widows, and in your range means crap against them. So, what are you designed to fight? What magical universe are you appearing in? Okay, if you're not, if we take the WizKids adage, you're balanced within set. Okay, we're running a sealed. All these people are stealth. You have no improved targeting, ignores, hindering, and you have a Black Widow that shuts down improved targeting. What do you do? Where's your Klondike bar? Come on, man. What's up? So there's problems. There's problems here. So we go back and we look at hundreds of perfect replicated fighting styles, toughness, willpower. At the beginning of your turn, choose combat reflexes or energy shield deflection or mastermind. Taskmaster can use the chosen power until your next turn. This isn't bad. It's not bad. But again, why didn't you put that same level of design into that first click? All right, Red Guardian, once again, he's a little beefier this time. He put some... He took time in the gym. So, we have fighting an entire squad, close. Make a close attack targeting up to 3 characters within 5 squares in line of fire, regardless of adjacency. Instead of normal damage, he deals his printed damage to each hit target. Meh, that's not bad. That's not bad. Setting that up is hard, but that's not horrible. Not just a knockoff. Leadership. When the Red Guardian uses it and succeeds, modifies combat values except damage. +1. Okay. I like that. If he failed, an opposing character chooses attack or defense, it modifies that combat value by +1 until your next turn. That's okay. That part we could have done without. Okay, then we're going to go over to Chase Black Widow. She was a killer in the Eagles Cast event and popular. So let's look at this, because this is the one that you're going to see people spend their hard-earned quarantine money on and for. Espionage, patience. Free if Black Widow is on a theme team or your starting force has 2 other characters, blah, blah, blah. Standard friendly characters can't have their attack rolls of 10 or more re-rolled. This is an important part because a lot of people forget this. And opposing characters targeting those characters can't have their attack rolls of 4 or less re-rolled. This is a huge part of her that I think a lot of folks just forget because we're just so used to saying prob, prob, prop. It's just one of the reasons why Time Gem in particular is not as effective as it could be. Okay. All right. Next up, stealth. Espionage and opportunity. Stealth. Black Widow starts the game with tradecraft tokens free. Remove a tradecraft token to choose an opposing character within 6 squares and line of fire. Until your next turn, that character can't use a standard power until it's displayed on their dial as color square and can't have their combat values possibly modified. Yay. So mostly people see the you can't use the power, but also not being able to modify your stats is huge because, hey, here's the special power. She yanks you. You want to use close combat expert or energy shield deflection or even hindering terrain bonus. I'm sorry, homie, you can't. And I think this is where I think a lot of people are overlooking some of her finer details. And I'm just like, oh, that is brutal to deal with. Her web of intrigue, I'm going to skip to that before I go to her stop click. Leadership Outwit Free removes a tradecraft token to generate a Black Widow movie set, blah, blah, Widow's Initiate and Widow's Recruit. Or one of the, or the Widow's Recruit. So they're okay. Now, the generating the token with the outwit, that is something. And because the being able to generate the poison one, the poison recruit or whatever, the initiative, I forgot which one, that wins games. That can win games. Same with the other one with close combat expert is okay. You just really need to have that shot set up. That's the best way I can put it. So when we look at our stop click, when this power is first revealed, remove all of the Black Widow's tradecraft tokens and heal her that many clicks. That you can't, if you flurry her, she hits that stop click, she automatically goes up. You don't get the second attack. You get the second attack, but the heal happens first. So it can be rough because let's just say, you hit her, from range, or you're flurrying, you hit her up close and, you do that big damage on that 20D and then she heals back up to super senses. It's like, you can't outwit in the middle of the action. You now have to deal with the super senses. So that can be rough. That can be really rough. And if she hasn't used any tradecraft tokens, you did everything to get her off that first click, and now she's back. So if we look at Bike Widow, I think Bike Widow is fun. I think, that's the best way I can say Bike Widow is fun. There's some cool things that Bike Widow can do just to annoy you. So free once per game, half speed, then move. When Black Widow leaves the map, generate a heavy object in one of the squares. Protected pulse wave. She's a vehicle without the vehicle limitation. So why not just revamp vehicles, whiz kids? Revamp vehicles. Give them leadership. If you roll... give them willpower, on a 4 through 6, you have willpower on your vehicle. Or vehicles can take pushing damage, don't take pushing damage on a 5 through 6 or something, something. Just because you're functionally showing us here that the vehicle mechanic has problems. But you're not willing to admit it. Okay? Having traded hypersonic speed is also nice. And I just like her altogether, and I think there's some things to exploit. Overall, I think getting a gravity feed is worth it. My disheartenment comes from the fact that the chase is a Target exclusive. So the Black Widow chase is a Target exclusive. Some of you might be saying, why don't you talk about the Chase Taskmaster? He's trash. And there you go. So, all right, that's it for this Black Widow set. I know this is a micro set, so short. I might come out with a little small rant later. All right, you can follow me on Twitter at StartOverPod. It came from outer space and told me, man, eating a whole Jimmy John sandwich, that's a mistake. I'm a little tired and sleepy right now. Probably need to get some more water in me. I think that's also my problem. You can email me at startingoverpodcast@gmail.com. That's startingoverpodcast@gmail.com if you wish to opine. Keep it pithy, keep it interesting, keep it awesome, baby. And that's about it. Stay safe out there, and remember, we all have to start over.